What on earth is this? Well, to answer my own question from before my silly title sequence, this is, quite obviously, a funicular. And it's a funicular in the Swiss town of Fribourg. Fribourg is a genuinely lovely town which straddles the border between the culturally French and German parts of Switzerland, and thus is also known as Freiburg, not to be confused with Freiburg in Germany. Nice one, lads. Could you not think of an original name? It's got a historic cathedral, a fancy old bridge, a lovely town square, and a lot of hills. Like a lot of hills. Fribourg is known for sort of being built into quite a deep valley. The elevation difference in this town of just 400,000 people is a remarkable 200 metres. As a result, there's a lot of huffing and puffing that needs to be done in order to get from certain parts of town to other parts of town on foot. And across most of the 900 years that Fribourg was here, they didn't even bother figuring out a way to fix that. Lazy, innit? Well, actually no, it's not lazy, because they'd be climbing hills. But our story starts in 1877. Around this time, Fribourg was undergoing a gigantic industrial boom, as factories, breweries, and other industrial facilities were built in the city limits. One of the businessmen who looked at Fribourg and thought, "Ooh, that would be a fun place to do unchecked capitalism," was Paul Alcide Blancpain. And yes, if you're a Swiss watch nerd, he was indeed a member of the iconic Blancpain family, which launched Blancpain watches in the early 1700s, making them the oldest registered watch brand in the world. Our man Paul Alcide did actually run the Blancpain watch business with his brothers for about 19 years, but in 1877 he decided he didn't have time, and instead decided he wanted to run a brewery. And which nearby town happened to already have an abandoned, bankrupt brewery in it ready for renovation? That's right, Fribourg. So Blancpain bought the brewery and reopened it, and in 1890 he changed the name of it to Cardinal, which is an iconic Swiss beer brand that still exists today. It's kind of average. I would say that's not even average, that's a subpar beer. Sorry. So yes, back in 1877, Paul Alcide had just reopened the brewery in the Old Town, the medieval part of the city down in the valley by the river. He was having a great time, but as more businesses came to Fribourg, the town had to expand. But Fribourg's topology meant that any outward expansion also meant an upward expansion, and a whole bunch of factories and industry started being built on the Perol Plateau at the top of the town, along with upmarket housing for the rich business people moving into town. Mr. Blancpain looked at this growing divide in Fribourg, and he thought, if business up there, but worker down here, how worker get to business? And he spoke to other industry leaders, and they too wished for an efficient peasant delivery system, and so they turned to the latest burgeoning technology in Switzerland at the time, the funicular. For those who don't know what a funicular is, little railway, 2 stations, one at the top, one at the bottom, counterbalance carriages on a cable pulley system, one goes up while the other one goes down and vice versa. Some have 2 separate tracks, some have a passing loop. There, done. The first funicular in Switzerland had been built in 1877 in Lausanne, and fun fact, that one still operates to this day. That one was, like a number of European funiculars in the late 19th century, water-powered. In this setup, both cars have a ballast water tank. The tank in the car at the top is slowly filled up with water until it becomes heavier than the one at the bottom, and would then start moving down the hill, dragging the other one with an empty tank up in the opposite direction. If geographically possible, the water is usually taken from a source near the top station, such as a lake or a water main. If not, the water is pumped up to the top station. Obviously, as the water gets pumped in, it means that the weight could sort of technically make the train sort of run away, so it's subjected to a permanent braking system the entire way down. And that is literally it. That's the whole system. It's simple and genius, and yet we don't use it anymore. And once it came time to build a funicular in Fribourg, connecting the old town of Neuveville and the new industrial district up at Saint-Pierre, a water-powered system was once again chosen, inspired by the Lausanne funicular. An application was submitted for the construction of the train in 1893. It was granted, and in 1898, the Von Roll Iron Works Company started construction, bankrolled by Blancpain and his brewery to the tune of 140,000 Swiss francs, over €1 million in today's money. One for the real deep-cut cog railway nerds is that the lead designer on this funicular was one Emil Strub, who is the creator of the Strub rack and pinion system, which is used all over the world by cog railways. So yeah, that's pretty cool. He was a young man at the time. I believe he wasn't very well known. This must have been his big breakthrough. Although one of the sources about this, about the history of this funicular, obviously fucked up and called him Ernst Strub, who's not a person, who didn't exist. So yeah, now loads of sources, including I think Wikipedia, says that some guy called Ernst Strub built this thing. Emil is rolling in his grave knowing that his fictitious brother is getting all the credit for his creation. Either way, construction was a quick process, finishing in mid-1899, and after a few months of testing, the Funiculaire Fribourg officially opened in 1900. Unfortunately, our man Paul Alcide Blancpain died in 1899, right before the funicular was unleashed on the public. But he would have been very happy with the results, I imagine. It was a huge hit, and straight away, in the first year alone, 200,000 people used it, and it immediately started turning a profit. Going back to the mechanism quickly, water-balanced funiculars are sadly all too rare these days. Once electric motors became cheap at the turn of the century, almost all water-balanced funiculars were converted to fully electric systems, as they were far easier to control, cheaper and faster. There are only about 7 unconverted, fully water-powered systems left in the entire world. And the Funiculaire Fribourg is one of them. Here it is. Look at it go. But what if I told you that of the 7 remaining water-powered funiculars in the world, the Fribourg one is the super duper ultra extra special one out? Partially because it's the only one left in Switzerland, but that's not all that interesting. And partially because it doesn't run on any old mains water. It runs on poop. Oh dear. There was no obvious freshwater source up here in Saint-Pierre, but there happened to be a sewage line running very near to where the funicular ended up being, running down the hill and unfortunately straight into the Sarine River in the old town. So the designers thought, maybe we can just siphon off some of the sewage and use that for the funicular? People won't mind that we're transporting them through town using the power of their own shit, will they? That's not weird, is it? According to local news outlet Frapp, part of the sewage was thus diverted from under Rue l'Abbé Beauvais, which is a few streets over from here, and siphoned off down to a 150,000 litre septic tank under Place Georges Python, however you say that. It's under here, basically, which is right by the top station of the funicular, which is just behind the camera. When the driver is ready, he opens a valve that allows the wastewater to flow into the ballast tank in the top car, and boom, the poop car is on the move. So it takes about 2 minutes to get from top to bottom, or bottom to top, and it runs at a maximum frequency of about every 6 minutes, although it's running every 10 minutes at the moment. And obviously when nobody needs it, it just sits and chills. It's 121 metres long and is at a 54% gradient, costing 3 Swiss francs per ride, or about €3.25. I'll let funicular correspondent Gabe tell you what it's like to ride.
The old Funiculaire, or if you're a Russian speaker, Funiculaire.
Right, I've got my ticket, which is 3 Swiss francs. About to be closed. Merci. I just came from the German side of Switzerland, so I keep forgetting to say merci. I keep saying danke by accident. Right, here we go. One thing I will say is that a lot of people complain that it really smells because obviously they're using wastewater. There is a slight smell. It is not that bad, and I'd say it's almost not identifiable as human waste. It's more sort of sulfuric. It's a bit like if you've ever been to Iceland or somewhere with a lot of volcanic activity. The tap water, like when you have a shower, it smells pretty weird. It's a bit like that. It's quite a smooth ride. It feels very old. It's not heated either. It's very, very cold. Oh my god. Where's this guy going? The fuck? When you get to the bottom, you can hear the shit water draining out. It's kind of gross, but again, it doesn't smell. I assume maybe it does in summer, and it's the dead of winter right now. So yeah, no poop smell. What is weird is that I feel like normally it would be the case that the funicular would be down for maintenance and thus people would have to use the stairs, but instead it appears to be the other way around. I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but the stairs are closed for maintenance, so the funicular has to stay open. It's interesting. There are some social commentators out there who have suggested that the Fribourg funicular is slightly problematic. Obviously, paying for a construction project to transport workers to their factories is good. But there are people, such as writer Nicolas Meyenberg, who suggested that asking proletarian workers to commute using the literal fecal matter of the bourgeois class is somewhat symbolically demeaning. However, while I'm all for a bit of class consciousness, that doesn't really seem to be the overriding opinion of the people of Fribourg. They absolutely love this thing, and they love what it stands for. They love it's a little symbol of their city. And they've actually protested multiple times when the council has tried to get rid of it, because it's not hugely profitable anymore, and I think it costs a lot to maintain. Also, good grief, don't film people without their permission in Switzerland. I was filming a long shot of the funicular coming down, and, it was like 30 metres away, and the driver had a snood on, but he was still like, don't fucking film me! And he got very angry. I didn't realise that it was so strict here. In the UK, I don't think our laws around it are as strict, so I didn't know. Forgive me, any Germanic people watching. Oh, in fact, no, wait, these aren't Germanic people, are they? They speak French here. Fuck! I'm making all sorts of faux pas. Oh, faux pas, French. And that's the Fribourg Funicular. This thing is a lovely little treasure and has become an absolute icon of the city, and is well worth a visit, though it does smell quite bad. And urban population centres grew rapidly in size as factories, breweries, and other brewer. What the fuck?